And now the science and the physical, they prove that we are energy.
So we think that science is the only solution to everything. So what is this limitations of this practice compared to the new practice that we're going to talk about?
Many sciences are getting so narrow in their detail, it is difficult to get the connection with the whole. Health is balance. When we lose our balance, we lose our health. And you listen to them and say, wow, this is, I mean, it's very spiritual the way they understand universe and their purpose here and what they do things, and they have not studied anything. Yep.
Hey guys, welcome to the channel again. This is Nizar speaking. Today I'm happy to be in the house and with Ana Maria. Thank you so much for having us here.
You're very welcome.
It's a really pleasure. And so, just to put a bit of context, I was here for the last weekend, right, for Pranic Healing training, basic training, really super basic. And so it got me thinking, and I liked really the way Ana Maria taught the class, and the way it like projected the information to us, transmitted the information to us, because it was really simple to understand, and easy to just grasp from the first class. And so I invited her to do a talk right now today about about this reality that many Westerners don't see yet. I think we are born in a society where we just focus so much on science, and I think it's interesting to just share with you guys other perspectives on life. So yeah, thank you so much. And maybe Ana Maria, just go ahead and present yourself to the audience. Who is Ana Maria? Where were you before coming to Barcelona? We are 1 hour from Barcelona, by the way, so super nature, super nice. And just tell us more about yourself. That would be great to know you.
Okay, my name is Ana Maria Vargas. I'm from Colombia originally. I studied psychology and looking for techniques to help people. I searched a lot into all the alternatives that we had in that moment at hand. After long searching, because I was looking also for my health and my own development, I found out I had a very severe gastritis at the university, and no medicine, nothing that they are giving to me were working. It was worse and worse every time. And a cousin of mine, she said, "Oh, look, I know this medical doctor. He's bioenergetic. He works with the energy, and that maybe you can try." And I went there. He prepared some drops for me. He did this test to see what is I was lacking of or excess of whatever, and he prepared these drops for me. After 1 week, I was perfectly feeling very well. But not only that, the impact was that my inner feeling was, wow, this is me again. No, I lose my path. I was going in another way. Then immediately it called my attention. I start studying Bach flowers and all this flowers therapy, and I mean all the possibilities I had on my hand there. And after a while, I was invited to this pranic healing course for a friend of mine, and that was amazing for me because it was the first time that I find that everything gets sense. Somebody explained me what is that energy. I mean, one thing is to work with an energy that you know that is there, because everybody knows that there is energy around. And now the science and the physical, they prove that we are energy. But it's something that you cannot really understand. Then to have an explanation on what is that energy, how it works in your body, how do you get sick or you get well if you are in balance, and especially what to do with that, that was great for me. That was amazing. It was the first time I felt I have something in my hand to do something. And in this training, there is a second course in which you learn how to deal with the different frequencies of this energy, which allows you to be much more precise in the treatment. But the third one is psychotherapy. That was blowing for me. I mean, I as
Psychotherapy with
a
energy.
psychologist, after 5 years of psychology in at university, I was working with kids and teenagers, looking for something that I feel that I can really help them. And this was the first time I understood how the emotions and the thoughts can really affect us.
Affects our health, affects our well-being,
Everything.
right?
And what we are, I mean,
Yeah.
we are, our personality is the result of all the experiences we have had during the life. But why nobody had, even if they have the same experiences, like with siblings or something like that, they have completely different personalities, no?
Yeah.
How we process that information, what we do with that information, and how this information really can get stuck there when causing, for example, what we call a trauma. Then if somebody has a trauma and has a lot of fear with that, nobody would happen around, even if everything is very calm, is very, even a very short, very single, small stimulus can get into that fear.
Yeah, yeah,
And the
yeah.
person respond with a lot of fear, not because the situation, but because the information they got. And if we can get into that information and disintegrate, we call it disintegrate with this technique, this is just energy, and remove it, it is like dispelling a dark shadow inside, and the people start feeling differently. And if they feel differently, they get the information
Yeah.
from outside differently, and of course they respond differently.
So just to make maybe, because many people maybe watching us don't necessarily understand these concepts of energy, just to put the basics first, right? Just some context. So I like your background is like also sort of scientific, right? But psychology.
Yeah.
You did psychotherapy, right? If I understood.
Yeah.
What was the limitations of this discipline as a mostly practice in Europe and most around the world right now? We believe mostly in science. We think that science is the only solution to everything.
Yeah.
So what is this limitations of this practice compared to the new practice that we're going to talk about, which is
Good.
pranic healing, right? So yeah.
The scientific approach is important in getting onto details, but the thing is not to lose the whole. That is a big point, because usually, as you said, many sciences are getting so narrow in their um, details
Field of
that
expertise.
it is difficult to get the connection with the whole. As it is not only like in some trying to integrate, they put like medical doctors, psychologists, phonologists, whatever, they put all together and everyone has a different point of view. Still, you don't have the whole.
Yeah.
You need, as a especially as a person working with health, have an idea of the whole, even if you don't work with the whole. I mean, you can work with one area where part, but you understand that there is, all the areas
Connection.
are affected, there are connections. The limitation was that I found, even at the university, I like the different perspectives. I learned from the psychoanalysis, behavioral, humanist, I mean, different perspectives. But my feeling was that there was something missing in the sense that either you take the subconscious and unconscious mind and you go through that, and it's really interesting and it explains a lot of things. But
Through what?
then,
Through talking to the patients, right? Just
yeah,
sessions of
but then the
talking.
methodology to get into the healing is so complicated. I mean, it is, and it is taking only that area. If you see the other, the behavioral, then you learn how to to work with the behavior of the people, the stimulus and the response and everything, but it takes a certain area. Then the studies in psychology, if you go to the development, for example, of the personality, which was very important for me to understand how this is developed, because if we have a problem here, like with a teenager, no, as I told you, I was working with educational but also clinical psychology with teenagers. If we have a problem here, it is because something in the process didn't work. Well, I mean, something was missing or too much or cause a trauma effect or whatever. And then we are trying to fix something. No?
So there was a blockage at some point in
the development
path,
of this person.
Development of the person. It's like a linear sort of, not linear, but yeah, you have a certain process of life development, and then something comes along the way. It could be an accident, or it could be, as you said, a trauma or something else.
Exactly.
That breaks this process and keeps staying with you for the rest of your life.
Then the personality is not holistic, but is going with some things that are missing, things that are maybe too much. And that's what was one of my points. Maybe if we understand this development better, we can do something to prevent, but not only prevent, but to give the proper input for that personality to develop.
Yeah.
Then you see like theories that goes with the cognitive aspect. They are very clear. They explain you how to, but there is completely separate from the social or the development of the body, the perceptive. I mean, every area is completely separate.
Yeah, you mean like you have
different disciplines at school, for example. You have different specialities.
Even in psychology, there is the psychology, the cognitive development, and how
cognitive psychology.
Your mind and your learning process are going on. There is another complete area, like for example, going to the subconscious mind, and there is another one who talks about the social, how you develop the social skills. Then recently, at that point, of course, it was the emotional development, which now is very important.
Yeah.
But still, things are separate one from another.
Yeah.
Completely different theories, and you cannot just put it together and understand, okay, this is the whole puzzle.
I feel like it's everywhere in science, even in a big company. I'm teaching business, and it's same. We have like different sort of divisions, right? And divisions, when they barely communicate with each other, so everyone does something on their side, and the whole thing is not necessarily homogeneous, right? It doesn't lead to the same objective.
Or balance.
Balance,
and that's a big point. In healing, balance is the main point. Even if you are talking about physical healing or emotional healing, it is about balance, and it is about the whole. We are not just the body, we are not just an emotion, we are not just a thought that we had. We are an holistic
We are a system. We are a system. Yeah.
That if something here is affected, it is going to affect the rest of the system. Of course, we can focus on the main symptom, for example, the main problem in that moment that has to be fixed, but that doesn't mean that you are fixing or helping the whole. And also the perspective of the development. One thing is to just catch up with one symptom because there is pain here and you give something for the pain. And another thing is to know what is causing that pain, how this person getting to this, and what is the process that this being is going through, why this pain is moving something in order to balance the whole aspect.
And so, sorry to interrupt you, but this is for me one big issue with modern medicine in general, and the pharmaceutical industry is we try to fix the symptom, right? There is, for example, I don't know, you have some burning that comes every once in a while, so you try to put something on it to just make your skin better, but then you don't know why this actually happened. What's the real cause that brought this? Is it an imbalance somewhere? Should be maybe somewhere else. It's like totally different. It's like called something like the butterfly effects. If you know, there is a butterfly putting some wings somewhere, and this creates like, for example, in Japan, and there's a hurricane in Peru because everything is linked in a way, right?
Absolutely.
So how can we transition to like from this area of medicine to this pranic healing sort of approach? Can you like tell us more about what is prana? What is energy? How many cultures call it, for example?
This prana is what the Chinese call qi, or the
Qi.
Japanese call ki, and the pneuma for the Greeks. It is this subtle substance, life force that allows us to be alive, that allow our physical body and all our energy, even our organs to function. Actually, when somebody is very weak, usually people say, "Oh, I'm lack of energy." No, and people, and it is real when this um, aura or etherical body, which is formed for channels of energy moving around inside whatever, the one that in the main areas where the many channels are intercrossing, they form these vortices, these chakras.
So we call chakras, right?
We call it chakras because they are part of this structure. There is a structure. Even if we cannot see it, there is a lot of people that can see it. With some training, people can see it.
Yeah.
We can train to feel it, as in the
Yeah.
basic
It's
Pranic
very
Healing course.
it's super subtle.
It's super
You need to be
subtle.
present and focused, right?
Yeah. But slowly you start feeling more and more, not only where it is, but the kind of energy you can start feeling, like, for example, if it is congested or if it is clean energy. That is just a fact of some experience. As the first time you try with something very subtle, even with music, whatever, you hear music, but to learn how to distinguish between one note and another, you have to train your ear,
yeah.
to train
It's all
yourself.
training, yeah.
That is the same. Then coming back to the effect in the body, then this chi, this ki, this prana in the Sanskrit.
We call it, by the way, I saw the Hebrew word when you were projecting, it's called Rouh, which is the same word in Moroccan, in Arabic, in general, we call it Rouh, which is also this living kind of thing within us that we don't see. But I never, when I was in Morocco, I never thought like we could even get a touch, a feel of it. Although it's, it's just ourselves. I mean, there's bigger things, but
that's interesting.
yeah, so it's, I was like, that's interesting. It's the same.
Because it's something that I think nobody can say no, that this is not existing. I mean, everybody knows this energy, even if we don't are not aware of that. But one thing is to know that there is something that is called ether, and another thing is that to understand how that is in our body is affecting how we get the energy. For example, we get that energy through breathing, through our energy body. Not only we do not only breathe through our inhalation, that actually when we get air from inhalation, one very interesting scientific explanation say we get the oxygen, but we also get the photons from the energy that then we are really inhaling light, not only oxygen. And this is true also for the rest of our energy body. This part of the structure, the chakras that are the moving structure, getting energy from the outside, they distribute this energy to certain area. Then, of course, if the energy outside is heavy, is
Polluted
thick,
and
is very congested, they are taking congested energy and giving to our.
Do you think it's sort of why maybe in places like, because I just moved from Paris recently, so for me Paris was too, I don't know, I was not feeling comfortable at some point. And do you think like Barcelona, because of the sun of the beach and like the nature around, maybe there's more energy, right? We feel better.
There is a little of difference, of course, between different cities. If they have more air, if they have the sea, if more sun or whatever, but also the kind of energy that is moving there. Because even in one city, like in Barcelona, there are some areas that after walking a little bit, when you get a little bit sensitive, like I have that problem, after 10 minutes, you start feeling that this is too much. It's like heaviness
Yeah.
getting all around. Then it's not only the city, but it's the place. It's what kind of energy is there, and if it is not moving. And that is what happens with our body. We all have the same source of energy from the air. That's the main source of energy for our body.
The
We
air.
also get the air,
Yeah.
the air energy, the air prana. We also get prana from the air, from the earth, also from the sun. But the main source is here, is around. I mean, we are here, of course, the main source is here. We all have the same source, but we process completely differently depending of the channels and what the chakras are doing. And that is being affected with our nutrition, if we do or not do exercise, if we breathe well or not, but also for more subtle things like emotions or thoughts. Those packs of information are also affecting there. Then, if we can understand that there is this matrix of channels and chakras that are moving energy inward and outward, and this is affected for example, the function of the.
Yeah, give us one example of chakra, for example, or two. That would be interesting.
There is this solar plexus chakra. This is very famous because it's just in the middle, and it controls and affects all the digestive area. Then, but it is also a chakra. The chakras has physical and psychological functions, even spiritual functions. Usually, the idea of the chakras, we have some of the physical, they are dealing with some glandular of some organ. That is true, but they have also psychological and spiritual functions. Then, just to go back to the example, if this chakra is getting energy for the stomach and all the digestive system, and we, for example, are very stressed out.
Yeah.
The stress is something that everybody has experienced. Some stress, you get more and more and more, and it is like, no,
you feel it in your guts, right? I mean, that's
how stress manifests. Stress is like you are overactivating your attention. You're moving. You have to do things. You have to get a lot of things in a very small time, and then you are overactivating this chakra because it's trying to do and do and do and move. And if the chakra is overactivated, it is getting more energy that is needed, no? More activation that is needed.
so it's
for example,
more
for the
excess. Do you think so? Stress is excess of energy.
stress is excess
Okay.
of energy. It's an accumulation, but that is going to have a physical effect also, because this excess of functioning of this chakra is affecting also the physical body. Then, for example, is giving the stomach the order of moving or producing acids where the stomach doesn't need to digest.
Yeah.
Person doesn't, and that is affecting the webs, and it is causing an ulcer or whatever there. There is a perfectly direct correlation if you understand the energy from the mental, emotional, etherical, physical aspect. There is a very clear correlation. What we get here when we have a physical problem, we get even an excess. An excess of energy is called congested because the energy could not move properly,
Smoothly, yeah.
The normally energy should move smoothly, proper, clean energy, move all around without problem. That is health. Health is balance. In whatever, even from the more physical aspect, from the more spiritual, health is balance. When we lose our balance, we lose our health. And that can be manifested in the physical, emotional, mental aspect, or all together.
Yeah.
A little bit of one of the other. Then this excess of energy causes more excess and more excess and can block some of these meridians, channels moving, can just make the organs there to work more than is needed. Or the other problem is lack of energy. You are very weak, you have very little energy, then that area is doesn't have the fuel to function.
Yeah.
Then after a while, maybe from some days, nothing happened because the body is really very strong. But after days and days and days, and the organ is not getting the energy, finally it's going to say, okay, come on, please. No? I cannot work without this.
Yeah.
And then that is the moment when we say, I have this problem, I have this, the organ is sick or whatever. Then there's a very important aspect that is we can also use science to understand these things if we can explain and understand what is happening. Then if we can understand that whatever sickness, whatever imbalance is causing problems, and we can find out where that imbalance is, this is also science. And then we can apply a technique to clean that excess, to provide new energy for the areas that are needed. And we find out that gives balance, but not only the feeling on a person that say, okay, yeah, I feel well, I feel better, I don't have not any more pain, but you really feel the real effect in their life.
So the healing, the basic idea is to bring in balance back to the patient, right? That's the basic idea. And then of course you need some expertise to know where is the area which is imbalanced in relation with all the system, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we will do like a small pranic session later if you want to. That would be great.
Of course.
But just maybe a couple of more questions, and then we move to the pranic healing. I want to know the strength, the energy, the effects of the mind on our health, on our well-being, on also during a healing session. What is the importance of the mind? Because I'm thinking about typically quantum physics, right? So people might be familiar with it or not, but basically that's pushed me toward this path as well of spiritual development. Because at some point I was like, okay, we learned physics. When you throw a ball, it falls at some point, and you can learn exactly where it's gonna fall, and you can do the math and everything, and this precise. So science gives you this feeling of certainty. You just can control everything. You know everything. But when there's quantum physics, when you look at it, for example, there's what we call quantum intrication, which is basically two particles can be linked together, like millions of years away. So the information between them, there's no way they can communicate between them, like so far away. You need years to just have the information. But if this one I turn it a bit, then the other one turn as well. So there's everything sort of linked without us seeing it.
Yeah.
And this also shatters the way we think about the world. It's not just like black and white. There is it's just mix of everything. It's just a mix of order and chaos, right?
Yeah.
And so what is the mind in all that? What's the consciousness mostly, not the mind necessarily, but
Imagine that the mind, the energy moving the mind is not here, but here. And we only see the effects of the mind here because nobody can say, no, the mind doesn't do anything. Everybody knows. The thing is how. When we study also the states of matters, no, solid, liquid, gas, and the ether or bioplasmic, this is a state of matter. I mean, it means it's matter, but softer, even more subtle
than gas.
And there is not only one ether. If you go even physical, quantics, physical, and everything, they describe at least 4 different kinds, which means this is subtle, the other is more subtle, the other more, and the other more. Then imagine, to take this example, that the physical body is here, no? We have solid, liquid, gas in our physical body all around. Then the etherical body, to give it a little bit of dimension, is here. Is this energy more subtle moving around because it's subtle, can go inside the physical and everything. But just imagine that there are more subtle energies. Then imagine the emotions are here and the mind are here. Just to say something, because this is a very clear explanation from many other perspectives. Then this is moving, affecting this one, and this one is affecting all these three. That's why the emotions are so involved with our body. But the mind is also, I mean, mind and emotion is very difficult to separate. If you feel something, you have an emotion. If you have an emotion, you think something. In human beings, it goes together. Then that pack of that kind of energies with emotion and thoughts, we call it thought form. Thought form is, do you remember the caricature when somebody thought it has a cloud here?
There is a cloud,
it's something like that. If we feel or thought or think on something, we produce some kind of cloud with this energy. No, the energy. How can we prove this? If you go to an office with where everybody is stressed out, with there is very very strong stress energy, you can feel it. You go inside, and after a while, you start feel like, okay, this is like too much, no? Or sometimes you walk around in the street and you feel somebody pass through and say, wow, what happened with this person? Maybe you know, there's mala leche, they say here, no? There's very strong, heavy, maybe they are anger with whatever, and you can feel that anger. Even without seeing the person, just getting beside the person, walk around and you feel something. Then you can feel the energy of the emotions, and you can feel the effect of that thought forms. Of course, usually we feel it when there is a lot, no, when there is success. But again, with training, you can feel those things. And we as human beings, we are full of these energies, the effect of our whole life and everything that we are collecting all around. That's why.
Sorry, continue.
No, just one example. That's why when somebody talk to you about something that you never heard about, or you are looking for a car, then you have an idea, okay, I'm going to buy a car, I want this. You see that car everywhere. And usually, because the energy is focusing and your mind is focusing, and the amount of energy in that thought form is very heavy. That the more you focus in something, the more this energy is heavy. The more you feel something, the more you nurture this energy. And this is like that with everything.
Yeah, so the focus sort of directs your energy, which directs your creativity, your openness, the way you see or not, right?
Yeah.
But we had this talk two levels, I think, in when I passed by was that a Buddhist temple last year, and they talk about mindfulness and concentration. So mindfulness is sort of how large you feel things, because many people are mostly focused in their brain. They can't feel anything because they don't have the level of consciousness to feel, right, to include other things. And then you have the focus, so you just focus on one thing or the other, or you just are you in control of your focus?
Was your focus in control of you, right?
That's the point of mindfulness, for example, of meditation. But before that, I want to clarify two things. One thing is that each one of these feelings of thoughts, even if single one, because not all are in your conscious mind. Some there were psychology gets all the traumas and the whatever explanation of, or for example, very early experiences. If these experiences have been strong enough to produce one of these thought forms, even if you don't remember, that energy is with you. For example, you are afraid of whatever and you don't know why, and you have a strong reaction, but it's because the fear is there. The information of fear is inside you. Then you are reacting because that information is inside. And the other very important thing is that each one of these reactions is producing a body reaction also. When somebody is afraid of something, there is a lot of hormones and neurotransmissions and whatever, and the adrenaline get up. And then if you imagine you have this feeling of um, being afraid of separation, of not secure, of whatever, because those are the feelings that the little kid has.
Yeah.
And you just try to suppress that and to survive, and you get some mechanism to survive. But the inner feeling behind is always that. Then your body get used to react to that all the time. Not only we react with adrenaline when something is falling in top of us. Of course, the adrenaline has to move, then we
No,
can
it's fight or
run
flight, fight or
and get out
flight.
of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But imagine if the body of somebody is all the time not afraid of everything and reacting with this, because that is the information, the psychological, the mind information that you have. Then the mind doesn't go alone. They go with emotions, and the emotions go with the mind. If somebody is more emotional or more mind focused, is okay. I mean, that's part of personality, but always go together. And if going back to the example, if this affect this, no, the state, they really get the point that they affect also the physical body.
Yeah, it's like
and the other side works also.
Yeah.
They work all together.
One last question. Ana Maria is more, not, it's a bit more personal, but I'd like to know and this is, I think, what I feel like this word is about. We have a lot of religious people. We have a lot of atheist, sort of agnostic people that don't just believe in science and there's nothing else, and nihilism and so on. For me, both are not enough. They have their weaknesses, and typically, so yeah, I just want to know, like, what is this? I created this thing called spirituality, which is a bit in the middle, and just trying to go on your own path. And this is what we encourage people to do: is just not to believe, but rather to take the journey, right? Just investigate, try, experience. So, how do you see like spirituality between both two things? Or your interpretation of religion as you understand it now, right?
We have to separate religion and spirituality, because religion is a way some group of people interpret some spirituality thoughts, but it is a way of living spirituality, but it's not necessarily spirituality.
Yes.
Spirituality is something that is part of human being. I mean, we cannot get rid of spirituality. People cannot say, I'm not spiritual. No, you can live your spirituality in whatever way you want, if through religion or through other ways, but you cannot get rid of that because it's part of us. People from the beginning of the history and always have searched for realization, being happy, understand things beyond mind, to go beyond, to understand what is this universe, what is the connection, what I am here. That's kind of always, people always explain. Of course, the very primitive people explain in a very mythical way, and the more our mind develop, and we're supposed to develop our also our heart and everything, we search for other kind of experiences and explanations. But that's a searching of human being because it's part of us. We come from the spirit and go from the spirit, and whatever religion will explain you exactly the same with different practices of different ways. Then the way and this a same religion can be very spiritual or not. I have go through many people that they say they're very spiritual and they are just very ritualistic. They do all the rituals, but
Yeah,
they're not
exactly.
spiritual, not even loving people. I mean, they think for themselves, do for themselves. It doesn't take care of the others, and I mean, for me, that's not a spiritual.
not
Not,
spiritual
not
at all.
even, not even the beginning. Not even opening the heart and start not being kind with the others. Then, if that is not there, the other part cannot develop yet. But it's a way to go through their path. Maybe in certain point of the development of humanity, also the spiritual practices were very ritualistic and very, because that was the way. If you see the development of the kid can be very spiritual when just watching the world and whatever, but they are not practicing nothing in particular. Then the point is, and I think that is a very nice, important aspect in the history in this moment in our lives, that science and spirituality are starting to find out that they are not that separated, not that different as they thought before. When some friend of all of us, Descartes, decide to divide mind and body, no, spiritual and
Yeah,
looks like everything was divided, and the science go through the positive things and the material, and the spiritual goes there. Nowadays everything is going to, okay, maybe it's not that different, maybe we are talking about the same from the different perspective. If I look from here, I look more the scientific aspect. If I look from here, I can have another explanation. But we are at the same. If we talk about human being, we can explain this human being from the very physical, atomic, cellular thing, and you find incredible explanations there. But you are always, if you open your mind and see beyond, you are always going to find that the other experience is there, and the lack of spirituality is one of the voids of human beings nowadays.
yeah.
Not the lack of religion, that is a way which is valid many times, depending on how people live that. And not one religion, different religions are different options, different ways of living. They come out in history in certain areas for certain culture, for certain people. That's the way that they can understand and they can live that. And every religion brings you to spirituality if it is real, the
Well,
real.
I think it depends more, from my experience anyway, it would depend more on the individual than the society, right? I mean, society will give you different tools, different practices, different rituals. And it's not bad for like the whole culture, just building the culture, right? But then also it blocks your mind to one truth. This is one truth. And the other truth are not are false. This is I'm true, the others are false. That's for me the main problem of religions.
And you find out very spiritual people that have no background. I have talked with people working in the field and sewing, and with an incredible feeling of the universe and the nature, and an incredible consciousness, and how they are able even to extrapolate that to their relationships with people and why the world is like. And you listen to them and say, wow, this is,
Yeah.
I mean, it's very spiritual the way they understand universe and their purpose here and what they do things, and they have not studied anything.
You have no education.
No education. Then spirituality is part of human being. You can live your spirituality in many ways. You can search for spirituality in many ways. The point is to develop also your discernment, to to experience and to have your conclusions. Allow yourself to learn also from others. Not to learn doesn't mean to believe everything blindly. That's a problem in spirituality, or in sometimes in the way people try to teach religion. No, you have to believe this because it is like that. That's a problem. And nowadays, nobody is going to accept that. No, you have to believe that just because something said. No, you need to go forward and to go.
Yeah, you need to go try and
Beyond.
test and learn and read and yeah, experience many things to just. I think ultimately it's only one truth. Every religion, even science, all the same truth, but it's just said from different perspectives.
And if you don't close in the lower truth, because truth have many layers, no, and it can be true here, but it has many others. Then if you stay here, then this religion is different from other and the other, and this is not the whole truth. If you go beyond that, we human beings are part of this universe, and we have and there are certain aspects, and at the end you find out all the religions are teaching the same. Then you can be spiritually through a religion or not. You don't need to, but you can also understand the religions and understand what that religion, if it is your religion, for example, the one you grew up, understand what that is giving to you, to your spiritual growth. But you don't have to follow it blindly.
Yeah, and mostly why, because what was lacking is the why. Like, why do we need to do this and not that? And once you take this step back and you learn many things, insights come to you like, oh, this is now I understand why I had to do, like, or why it was advised to do this. You're like, oh, it's interesting. So, for example, prayer is more like meditation. It's more like just training the mind to focus, to bring your energy, and so it's all basically the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we will now move to maybe a small pranic session with Ana Maria. If you wanna maybe do it on Chris behind the camera or on me, up to you. And so yeah, just show also people, because many people don't necessarily know pranic healing, so I think it's good, interesting to just see how it works and in practice, right?
Okay, then usually during a pranic healing treatment, the first thing we do is to scan the energy of the person. We can scan the level of energy in the aura, and we usually scan the different chakras to see how the energy is there. We can also scan the level of activity of the chakras, because as we explained before, the thing is about balance, and then if we find out that there are imbalances in the aura, in the chakras, some areas that are congested, some areas are weak, we have to apply the technique on that. Then we can use some frequencies of colors to do, for example, a cleansing. We have two levels of going to the therapy. We can do, in this case, his problem is in this area. Then I can do first aid intervention to work in that area, but he's not having any symptom now. He don't have no problem. And the problem is not a specific problem that he has today or for a few days, but it has been going on. Then we have to work with the whole system. That is part of the holistic approach. Usually when do this treatment, the first part we do is general cleansing, general sweeping. I'm just using now some frequency to move the energy.
Yes, okay. So thank you, Ana Maria. It was a long session, but thank you so much for your time.
It was a pleasure for me.
I think it was. I think some people will use these learnings at least to expand their reality, try new things, just learn that life is more than just what they learned at school, because ultimately every learning is made by other people. So, in every culture, in every country, we focus on certain things but not on others, maybe. And so maybe balance is always, whether it's a body, whether it's knowledge, whether it's a mind, it's very important. Do you have like 2 or 3 like tools or things to share with people that they can use on their path of self-development that may be very useful for them, right?
Yeah, I think it is important to move towards getting out of the square where we grew up, from the culture and the school and whatever, and because life is an experience, is to grow. I mean, if we keep on going the same way always, and that is maybe one of the main things, if you are, something is not working for you, if you are sick with everything, whatever you are doing and trying, maybe is not the right way. Maybe you have to search for new ways and new aspects and new possibilities and new perspectives in life, because I think this is a very important truth. That is, whatever I'm sick of, or whatever sickness or problems are in front of me in my life, are not there just to bother me or to make me suffer. It's a learning process.
To grow.
Sickness is to grow, is to find out, okay, what is being blocked in me, in my life, that is driving me here, taking me here, and how can I move differently to get to another way. Then open the mind. Life is to learn, life is to grow. Nothing is said at the moment. You can search many things, use your discernment, use your information, but move, and your sickness, your problem is telling you something. Something is not balancing your life. You have to move from there another way. A tool that I definitely find absolutely positive is meditation. Do some meditation. Start with a little bit of exercise to move your body and unblock your body, because you don't want to put clean energy in a dirty body. Then do a little bit of breathing, just to do a very good exchange of energy with the clean, nice, bright energy around you. Just feel like that. Feel the light is going in. Remember, we hold all the photons when we breathe, not only the oxygen. And feel that energy, feel the bright, feel the light, feel peace, whatever you need in that moment in your life. And after a few breathings, deep breathing with abdominal breathing, after a few breathings, you will feel that you are in a mood to meditate. Then, if you are a prayer person, pray the way you want to pray, but not only asking, just pray in the way that of opening your heart, opening your mind, and receive whatever the universe has to give to you, and be aware of connecting with that universe. You can do your prayer the way you prefer to do it. Meditate is just to be focused on something. In this, you can have also active meditation. If you like to cook, you can meditate cooking. If you want to do something with your hands, many people meditate like knitting
just
or
be
something.
present, but you need to be present in every action, right?
Then in this case, we are trying to give your conscious a little bit of calmness, because in this calmness you can get in contact with yourself. Those things that usually we don't take care, because we are very hurry running around life with the things that we have to do. In that moment, you are with yourself and you are with your higher self. you are aware that there is a universe bigger than you are part of that universe, and you can connect with that universe. It doesn't matter how you call it and how do you believe. There is something outside, and you can connect either with your inner feelings or suffering, or you can connect with the peace, with the love, with the light. And that is what you are calling when you meditate, to expand your consciousness. Because if not, your consciousness is going to be only here in your problems, in your sickness, in the situation you have to solve today. I mean, it is okay to be in the today, but not in the doing, but in the consciousness that is also aware of something else.
But ultimately, I like this quote: the quality of our life depends on the quality of our problems, right? I mean, it's just the more you grow in consciousness, the more you wouldn't. At some point, you wouldn't even call them problems. It would be more like challenge, experience,
if
discovery.
you are able to change your mind in that sense, you already have done a big step.
Yeah.
If you can get what you call your problem, either physical or the problem in your life, and say, okay, this is an opportunity to learn something, to grow. Just by doing that, you already change your perspective, and you have a new possibility. And somebody says, quote, also, the moment you can really describe clearly your problem, you have half the way done to solve. I mean, many times I have seen that in my clinical experience. People are sick because we are in the storm in our glass. The moment we are able to get out the glass and look at the whole thing and say, oh yeah, there is a storm there, but the world is still moving, is still holding on. Then if you are suffering for a physical sickness because a problem with your partner, with your family, with your job, with that, whatever, you are still in the storm in your glass. By meditating, by praying, by taking care of yourself, but getting a different perspective of this situation, that is also spirituality. That is also getting out, because when you look from a spiritual perspective, you are not only in the glass, you are looking.
It's like you put your energy in a small bubble, right? And you're not letting it go because you're just so focused on this small bubble, small problem. But life is so big than that.
Yeah. And we always, we all for sure go through that in some time of our life. And we feel that the world is falling on top of us and is going to
the end of the world,
finish, the end of the world. It's not the end of the world, it's the feeling I'm having about that problem. And if I am aware of that, say, okay, I'm feeling like that now, but I know I can move from there and have another perspective and that is life.
Yeah.
So that's the point.
Okay, thank you so much, Ana Maria. It's so
Thank
nice
you.
to be here in your
Thank you,
house. And so thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you in the next video, and please check in the description below. I'll put all the information about Ana Maria as well if you're interested to contact her directly. And be safe, grow up, and learn more. And see you soon. Bye. Ciao.
Don't know, but I know